For some reason, when I first got on this afternoon,
Yeah.
it wouldn't connect to any of my networks, and it has to sync.
Okay.
We'll have to look at the
Oh,
and update. I don't know, should I leave it on?
Tonight?
Anytime. I usually shut it completely down.
Yeah, you can leave it on tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Go update.
Eventually it shows up.
Okay, so we'll see.
Yeah, Mayor?
All right. Everything well?
Yeah,
Very good.
we're on.
All right. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. If you will please join me and stand with Reverend Sid Stein for the invocation. Good afternoon, Reverend Sid.
Good afternoon. Thank you. It's my honor to be here. Just a quick reminder, because I know there are several people here in the room that have been nominated for a Bright Lights Award. Those who shine bright in our community will be awarded as well as our longest night service. That'll be at 4:30 next Sunday this coming Sunday, the 21st, I should say. Time flies, right, during the event. They'll be out on the library lawn, and so I invite you all to come for that as we honor those in our community that are just make Atchison a better place to live. All right. Well, it is my honor to pause for a moment to reflect on the purpose of this gathering. So for those who find it appropriate and are willing, I would invite you to join with me now in prayer. Holy and gracious God, as we gather today in service to the people of Atchison, grant us clarity of mind, steadfastness of purpose, and compassion in every decision. We are reminded, especially in this season of Advent, that Jesus also grew up in a small town of Nazareth, and his everyday life was shaped by the decisions of his village leaders. And so we ask for full presence of the elected commissioners, the staff, and community members that they may act with wisdom, which seeks the common good, and courage that leads us towards justice, and with patience that listens deeply. May decisions and work today reflect your hope for our neighborliness, fairness, and peace, especially celebrate this season. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Thank you. At this time, I will call the meeting to order. God bless you. And Tina, if you could please call the roll.
Mayor Young,
Present.
Vice Mayor Wilcox.
Present.
Commissioner Greenlee,
Present.
Commissioner Murphy,
Present.
Commissioner Slattery.
Present.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, absolutely. I have two of them, so you can, that one. Okay, wonderful. At this time, we will open for public forum. Persons who wish to address the City Commission regarding items that are not on the agenda, again, items that are not on the agenda, may do so at this time when called upon by the mayor. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and should give their name and address when addressing the commission. Any presentation is for informational purposes only. Any and all written communication should be deposited with the clerk, with the city clerk. At this time, I will open our public forum.
We are here just on that solutions as we're on.
Okay, very good. Then we will close, if there is nothing further, we will close the public forum now. All right, wonderful. Next, we will have our consent agenda by City Manager Mark Westhoff. Mr. Westhoff.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. We have a pretty full consent agenda tonight. First is to approve the minutes from your December 1st, 2025 City Commission meeting. The second is to approve the cereal malt beverage license for Sharp's Surefine Food, which is Alps and Van Dyke Grocery. The third is to authorize the sale of the State Historic Tax Credit Certificate to Exchange Bank and Trust in the amount of $30,184.20. You recall this is the tax credit that we received for the Santa Fe Depot HVAC project. So this is money coming back in. Third is to approve the occupational license for the Sunflower Cafe and Willie's Family Inc. Fifth is to approve the occupational license for Atchison Golf and Country Club. contingent upon the ABC license renewal. 6th is to approve the 2026 updated pay grade positions and classifications. The 7th is to authorize the contract extension for Pomeroy Development. The 8th is to approve the trash hauler license for Martin's Trash Service. The 9th is to adopt Resolution 3432 as corrected. There was a typo in the resolution you approved at your last meeting about the rates for the CSO and for trash service. So we're correcting that typo here. The 10th is to authorize the mayor to sign the addendum to water sale agreement with Rural Water District Number 1, which expires the 21st day of March 2031. As you recall, in the last meeting, we discussed requesting a 3% rate increase from the rural water districts that we provide water to. The agreements with each of those districts require them to agree to it, so this is the first agreement of Rural Water District Number 1. The 11th is to approve tow service business license for Atchison Express Lube and RNS Automotive LLC. And the 12th is to approve a 9-month contract extension for Theater Atchison to manage the Atchison Event Center, which was also discussed at a previous meeting.
Okay, all right. Do we have any questions for Mr. Westhoff?
I'd like to see
Yeah.
number 6. Anytime we have something that big, I'd like to see it off of the consent agenda. That's all.
Okay.
Having said that, I'd move we approve the consent agenda.
All right, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we will approve the consent agenda as read. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Take note of that, Commissioner.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Westhoff. All right, new business. First up, Mr. Prejean, public hearing for taxable industrial revenue bonds, and then shortly thereafter, the resolution.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. I do need to note first thing that I'll do a little introduction here, and then I'm going to step out and get Sarah Steele, who is our bond counsel with Gilmore and Bell, get her on the phone so that she can participate. I'm not a bond attorney, certainly, so if you have technical questions about the mechanics of how industrial revenue bonds work, I can give you the 30,000-foot level. Anything much below that, Sarah is going to be more equipped to answer those questions. So, as you all know, Nutrien Ag Solutions has a property at the Shannon Industrial Park under contract through the land bank. That property is on the northwest corner of what we call the Armstrong parcel. It is adjacent on the north to the railroad that bisects that site, and to the west is Mead Road. It is immediately north of property that the city, a year-ish ago, sold to Atchison County, to give you spatially where we're at. We were approached about this property. Nutrien Ag Solutions is looking to develop a project there that would cost, I'll say, $17 million-ish, with $2.5 or $3 million of that being industrial and processing equipment, and the other improvements being related to the real estate, grading, access, site improvements, buildings, etc. Nutrien has some folks here at the meeting. They can tell you more about the details of what the project is. If you're interested to hear more about that, I'm sure they'd be willing to tell you. But what I want to do is spend the rest of my short introduction here discussing what industrial revenue bonds are and what they can achieve. So in this case, we're not planning to use industrial revenue bonds to actually finance their project for them. We're using industrial revenue bonds for two reasons. One is that there is a property tax exemption agreement that's tied into this process. That would be a 100% property tax exemption for 7 years, and then 75, 50, 25 in years 8, 9, and 10. It's quite similar to what the industrial version of the neighborhood revitalization program would be. So it's not like we're giving away much more than would be had via that by right process. What I found is typically corporations prefer to go the exemption route as opposed to the rebate route, and that's certainly the case here. The second thing, excuse me, is that industrial revenue bonds can garner the developing entity a sales tax exemption on construction materials. So those are the two benefits that are being had through this process. So with that, maybe now would be a good time to, excuse me, you want to do the public hearing, then have them tell you about the project. They can tell you about the project, then do the public hearing, whichever way you prefer. I'll step out and get Sarah on the phone, and then we can.
Okay. Well, just, if they would love to come and brief us first, that would be great. Yes, thank you for being here.
So, my name's Phil Conrad. I'm with Nutrien Ag Solutions. I was the former general manager of a division. Nutrien, if you're not aware, we're the largest potash producer in the world. We're also the largest ag retailer in the United States. We've got a site here on Route 59 now. We would like to upgrade the facility. We're looking at putting up about a 5,000-ton fertilizer building. We'll have liquid fertilizer storage capacity, and we'll also have crop protection storage capacity and blending capacity there. At our other site, we already have an established seed warehouse with bulk seed and seed treatment facilities. And Matt Clark is our location manager here at the Atchison branch, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay. Certainly, with your investment, are you looking to increase the number of employees, or is that part of your plan?
Yes, so currently, there's about 17 full-time employees between the two locations that we have. We would close the Route 59 location once the other project is complete, but the 17 employees, full-time employees, will remain. There's approximately 3 to 4 part-time employees. As we grow revenue, we definitely will be adding people. I can't give you a head count number, but it takes a significant amount of people to, operate one of these facilities.
Okay, all right. Okay. Commissioner Murphy?
Well, the property that where you currently are, after you get the new one constructed, will you just close it and abandon it, or will you most likely, I think, sell it?
Okay.
Or do you have, what's the plan?
Yeah, so, well, number one, it's on railroad siding property. So we can't just walk away and abandon it. So we have to do whatever the railroad deems necessary. In some cases, we sell to another business and they operate it as not necessarily another fertilizer business, but it could possibly be sold for another use. It could be that the railroad asks us to return it to original property, so we would tear the property down. Those are still questions that we don't have the answers to today.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, commissioners? Okay.
So, we have a chart here on our information about net benefit to the city. I assume, Justin, do you know, is that over a 15-year period? Is that what that is? Is that?
So when you do an industrial revenue bond, there's a and that includes a property tax exemption. There's a required cost benefit analysis that goes into it. Sarah, I do want to mention, Sarah's with us now. She's on the phone. Sarah, the question. So the question from the commission, Sarah, has to do with one of the cost benefit analysis charts that was put together, and asking if the term of that analysis is over 15 years, or if that's something that you're familiar with that you could answer.
It appears that it is done over a period of 15 years to reflect that there's really a 10-year abatement. And then it appears to me as well, I'm sorry, this is a new format for me as well, but it appears that they do stretch it over the 15 years period to reflect that the 100% will be on the tax rolls in year 11.
All right, I'll repeat that a little bit in case that wasn't loud enough. So the format of the cost benefit analysis that you're seeing, Sarah's saying that's new, and so that comes from only two sources. But what she's saying is because yes is the short answer to your question. That's over a 15-year horizon.
So the net to the city would be,
Exemption is only 10.
Right. Okay. Yeah, the property tax exemption is only over 10 years.
Right.
I see. Okay.
I do want to say something that I neglected to mention that occurs to me. This did go in front of our Economic Development Advisory Group, this request. We typically take any incentive requests through that group. It doesn't always work out that way because of timing of meeting schedules and such, but in this case, we were able to do that, and it did garner a unanimous recommendation from them after some extensive discussion about things like job retention versus job creation, and there's some kind of policy questions around that. So there was a really robust discussion at that group, and I did want to mention.
Okay. And you said that they did unanimously recommend?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
I'm glad to have another fertilizer company getting bigger.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. With that, then, we will go ahead and open up our public hearing for the taxable industrial revenue bonds, Nutrient Ag Solutions. We are going to open up, open up the public hearing at 4:46. And at this time, do we have anyone that wishes to make public comment? Okay, or for or against? Okay, seeing as we do not have anyone, we will close the public hearing.
Can I ask one question?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
I was reading through some of this, and there's going to be payments in lieu of taxes. Do we have any idea?
That's in years 8, 9, and 10.
That's what I mean.
The 25% in year 8, the 50% in year 9, and the 75% in year 10. Because it's technically an exemption, the agreement states that they will make a payment in lieu of taxes for those years. And then they start paying the actual taxes in year 11
Okay. But they're going to make payments in lieu of tax.
for 8, 9, and 10. Yes.
equal to the taxes.
Equal to the percentage of the taxes that they would owe. Yes.
Okay. Just, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. That's why that's written that way in the IRBs.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. Okay, any other questions, concerns before we close the hearing? Anyone here speaking for or against? Okay. With that being said, we are going to close the hearing now at 4:47. Hearing has been closed. Next, we will have consideration of resolution number 3433, determining the advisability of issuing taxable industrial revenue bonds. Mr. Prejean.
I don't think I have anything additional to add.
Okay.
One thing that I neglected to mention that is relevant, I suppose, is that they have already gone through site plan review at the Planning Commission, and I believe it pretty quickly garnered unanimous approval at the Planning Commission as to the layout of their site and lighting and access and all of those considerations.
And we worked with them extensively on the boundaries of the property in question, changed a couple times during the conversations, and we were able, they worked really well with us. We wanted to make sure we have a gap between the property the county purchased and their property so that the city can in the future put in an access road to the eastern section, the eastern parcels that are still available for development. And they worked really well with us on that, they moved their property line up 60 feet, I think, from the south edge to accommodate that. So they've been a good partner through the process.
Okay, all right, wonderful.
Do we have any idea ballpark, start to finish construction? That's the ribbon cutting.
But 9 months,
Yeah.
9 to 11 months. Kind of.
Okay.
That's 2026, right?
Okay. All right.
We need a motion on that?
We do. So is there a
I'd move
motion?
it- I'd move we adopt resolution 3433.
All right, it's been moved. Is there a second? Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution number 3433, determining the advisability of issuing taxable industrial revenue bonds and authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to sign. At this point, is there any further discussion? Okay, if not, we are ready for a roll call vote. Tina, if you could please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Wilcox?
Yes.
Commissioner Greenlee?
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy?
Yes.
Commissioner Slattery?
Yes.
Mayor Young?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And thank you, gentlemen, for the investment in the city of Atchison. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
All right, at this point, we will move to our board openings, and we are going to be considering applications. Mr. Westhoff, would you like to guide us through this process?
So, we advertised for 10 board openings across 4 different boards. We had 6 openings on the Airport Advisory Committee, and we received 8 applications. We had 1 opening on the Board of Code Review for a plumbing contractor, and we received 1 application. And we had an opening on the Design Review Committee for an industrial business in the design district that we have, and we did not receive an application for that opening. And we had 2 openings for any city resident on the Park and Forestry Board, and we did not receive any applications for that. So I think the easiest would be first to consider the 1 application from the plumbing contractor for the Board of Code Review. That is on page 106 of your packet. The application is from Branson Dame, who's been a licensed plumber in the city since 2002 and has served on this board in the past.
Okay.
We will need, yes, so we will need a motion for each of these openings. Yep.
Well, I would move that we accept him. If that's I don't know.
Okay, so it's been...
Branson Dame.
Okay, it's been moved? All right, it's been moved and seconded that we appoint Branson Dame to the Board of Code Review for the plumbing contractor. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right.
Okay, so then the next one will take a little more work. You're able, just as a reminder, with board openings, you're able to do a motion where you recommend multiple people to openings, but then obviously that requires a second to vote on all of them, or you may go through and appoint individually and a vote on each one. It's up to you. So like I said, we have 6 openings. We have 5 individuals who are currently serving on the board who asked to, renew their position. And then we had 3 individuals who would be new to the board, and so then there's 1 additional opening that the current person serving on the board did not submit their application. So I'm happy to talk through any of them. You have the letters in your packet.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
So the ones that were seeking reappointment, if I'm correct, that would be Reed Berger, Luke Janowski, Seth Fox, Gail Bloston, Mark Schultz?
Correct. Those are the
Okay.
5 individuals who are currently on the board and requested to be reappointed. Oh, sorry.
I just want to say, of the 3 that are not currently on the board,
Yeah.
one of those has served quite a few years on.
Who is that?
Okay.
Lena Say.
Okay, Lena Say. Okay.
Can we identify which of those have been there during the tenure of the construction?
All of them have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because some continuity
Yeah. All of the
in
current
bringing
board
that project
members.
to completion would probably be beneficial.
Would it be appropriate to nominate the ones who are already on the board,
Yeah.
who are reapplying at one time?
Yes, absolutely.
You
If
may
that's
do so
what you
if
would
you
like
would
to
like.
move, yes.
Okay. I would make a motion, the current 5 people who have reapplied, be reappointed.
Okay, all
You
right.
might
Is
state their
there-
names.
And I'll say Reed Berger, Luke Jesnowski, Seth Fox, Gail Flossie, and Mark.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we reappoint Reed Berger, Luke Janowski, Seth Fox, Gail Blaston, and Mark Schultz to the Airport Advisory Committee. All those in favor, or, well, before we do that, does anyone have any discussion on the motion? Okay, if not, all those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Next, we have one other appointment to make to the Airport Advisory Board.
I've gone through these three. All three are, pilots. They're all active at the airport. I think you could say the qualification is they have to be in the Atchison area. One individual lives in Troy. It's outside of the county, but I think you could pretty easily make the argument that's the Atchison area. They all to the city staff who reviewed them, they're all worthy appointees, so it's ultimately up to the city commission which of the three.
Okay, Mr. McNamee, you had said that Blaine Assay has served on the Airport Advisory Board before? Okay, all right, okay. And has been there, was he there during the airport construction?
The runway project?
Yes.
I don't remember the exact year, but I think if you've got it in front of you, when Gail
Okay.
was elected, appointed, that would have that was his opening.
3 to 4 years.
Okay.
There's supposed to be 4.
Blaine Assay.
Oh, this is something else to talk about, I guess. There were
This was up until, it's called 3 years.
term.
We
Okay.
definitely,
Talk about that.
through the airport operating standards discussions, through the buildup of getting the applications, funding, the planning and the airport plans and all that sort of thing. So yes, but then not necessarily during construction.
Okay.
I don't know any of that. Can't contribute.
Okay.
Well, in no deference to any of the candidates, I'm going to nominate Blaine Kramer.
Okay, it's been moved that we nominate Blaine Kramer. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we appoint Blaine Kramer. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I will just note, though, we do need to now differentiate. There were 3 3-year terms and 3 2-year terms. So of those 6 that you just appointed, 3 of them need to be selected for a 3-year term, and 3 need to be selected for a 2-year term. I apologize about that. I
Okay.
should have mentioned that during the motions, but
That's okay.
Luke
We'll take care of it.
Jesnikowski has 9 years currently, or plus 2.
Okay, so you're, okay,
I'm
so.
suggesting
And Mark
2
Schultz
years.
would be one we could do that with, a
Okay.
longer term.
Okay,
He's the one
so,
that does the stunt thing for the mayor.
okay, so you're suggesting 3 years for him. Okay, so Vice Mayor, you were suggesting 2 years for Luke Janowski, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Commissioner Slattery, 3 years for Schultz?
Yeah.
Okay, I would suggest 3 years for Reed. Do we have another Reed Berger, for those of you who may not know his last name? Do we have another suggestion for a 3-year term?
Blaine Kramer, let's do that one.
Okay, all right.
He's new, isn't he?
He is, okay.
That'd be good.
So for those, for the 3-year term, we have Reed Berger, Mark Schultz, and Blaine Kramer. Is that acceptable?
you'll have to vote.
I know, we'll move. But does anyone have any questions on that? Any concerns?
Do we have a motion?
I'll move. Okay.
Second.
All right, very good. It's been moved and seconded that for the term of 3 years will be Reed Berger, Mark Schultz, and Blaine Kramer. All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then that remains do we need a motion for the second term, for the 2-year term, or are we okay?
I think that's probably okay.
Okay, are we?
The remaining are 2 years.
Okay, all right, very good. All right, thank you. All right, and that will conclude
Yes.
our board openings.
We'll advertise the remaining openings again, and we encourage anyone, especially for that Parks Board, since the qualifications are simply to live within city limits. The Design Review Board has some more qualifications there, being involved with an industrial business in the design corridor, so it's a little trickier to fill that position, but we encourage residents to be involved with those boards.
Okay, all right, very good. All right, next we will have combined sewer overflow presented by Mr. Clinton McNamee. Mr. McNamee?
All right, so as a kind of a brief reminder of what a CSO is, that'll provide some context for the request for those that may be listening. So here in Atchison, we have a sewer system that combines sanitary sewage with stormwater, typically during wet weather events like rain. And this creates a volume within the sewer system that sometimes exceeds the capacity of that system and also the capacity of the wastewater treatment plant. And so we have 7 locations that discharge mixed sewage and stormwater into White Clay Creek or the Missouri River. As you can imagine, that is not the best practice, and as such, we are under a consent order, have been for many years, a consent order with Kansas Department of Health and Environment to eliminate those CSOs, which is combined sewer overflow, also known as a bypass. And one of the requirements of this consent order is for us to monitor the amount of flow out of those overflows when they overflow. And the equipment that we have in place has been giving our staff a lot of trouble over the last few years. The equipment's, it's electronic, and it uses like optics radar to measure the flow in those overflows, and then it's remotely reported back to them using like SCADA communications, and then we're required to report those measurements to KDHE on a monthly basis in order to have call it a sewer permit. The equipment, it's kind of confusing. The company's out of Illinois, but it was purchased through another company out of, I think it was Arkansas. It's hard to get technicians on site. They want to call our folks on the phone and try to walk our guys through taking apart electronic equipment and diagnosing it. So you can imagine how that goes sometimes, but even despite those efforts, we're still having trouble with these things reading accurately and reliably. Sometimes it's blank information, sometimes it's showing flow when there is no flow, and vice versa. Sometimes it picks up whirling leaves inside of the overflows and thinks that we're having a massive overflow event on a completely dry day. KDHE, of course, expects accurate, reliable data, and so they've been pressuring us to do that. I tried to make the case with them that we have years of this data now. Can we not utilize that as a baseline and just record the wet weather days like we already do and gauge it that way? I was turned down on that proposal, and so staff has been researching a different company for the flow monitors. There's a company called Axiom out of Mission, Kansas, that we utilize quite a bit for both the water and wastewater treatment plants. And they have a proposal for 7 of these flow monitors to come install them for us. for $143,723.44. We put this in the 2026 CIP for $150,000. I would ask for that $150,000 budget authority in case there's some change orders or something like that. And this expense won't hit until 2026. So we're just anxious to get this thing going sooner than later, which is why I'm bringing it here tonight.
Okay, and you said that this is something that we are being required to do, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right, and we have budget authority, we already budgeted $150,000, and this comes in at $143,723.44. They're in Mission, Kansas, so, okay.
And they come here often to, I don't want to say often, but they come here when they need to work on things that we already have in place. Separate systems, but, yeah. So we don't have any concern about service in that regard.
That's good. That's very good.
These photos are not our sewers, are they? Generic?
That's
photos?
just the brochure for the, yep.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any further questions for Mr. McNamee?
Is the equipment just primarily the cameras and the meters, or?
The radar.
It's so you get this big overflow pipe, and these are like, they kind of look like a camera, I guess you could say that. And they're mounted to the top of the pipe, and they stay out. They don't usually get submerged. They're up above the flow, and they shoot radar beams down to the water flowing underneath of it. Now, when it's not overflowing, you got a dry pipe. And then when it flows, it senses that, it measures the depth and I assume how fast it's moving, like a radar, like a police radar or
Somebody make
something.
one that just runs on a float or something that would just go up and instead of all this electronics and radar and everything, my gosh, looks like we're building a spaceship to
I don't know that they don't make one of those or do make one of those, but given the nature of what comes flowing through a pipe, anything that's in that stream would take a beating.
There's a storm.
There's 2x4s
Yeah.
and bricks tumbling, depending on how heavy the rain is. I mean, I think this is probably the standard of what things like that have become.
Okay.
And the pipes are really large. I mean, we're 60 inches plus, so any sort of like inline flow meter that's the whole pipe size, that would probably far outweigh the cost of this, I would imagine.
Okay.
So you might not have this information on the tip of your tongue, but when these were installed in 2019, was there any projection on how long they would last?
I looked at the commission, actually, I was not the one that presented that. I looked at that action report, and I don't recall seeing a expected time frame. I mean, but it's electronics living inside of a combined sewer pipe exposed to the outdoor world. I mean, they're built to withstand
Well,
that,
but How about with the current
they were
system?
they were also considerably cheaper than this one. I think those were in the, call it less than 50,000, all things said and done.
So they got 5 or 6 years out of those. Is there any projection?
I would say more like probably 3 to 4 of
And they got installed?
reliable data.
Any projection on the new ones, lifespan?
I have not had that conversation. That doesn't mean that my wastewater treatment personnel.
Electronics, moisture.
That's what they're designed to do, but I'm just saying in general, I mean, I don't think we can, any electronic device, you probably couldn't expect more than 10 years of, they're going to require updates and things of that nature, so I would hope for at least 7.
As we eliminate CSOs, we can also eliminate these monitors within those.
What do they do with, they're going to say how much water's flowing through a pipe.
I think they're trying.
It doesn't make us less reliable or more reliable.
I think they're just trying to gauge or quantify the impact of our combined sewers into the
river.
The Missouri River ultimately. I don't know that
My
they.
gosh, we've been doing this for 50 years.
Yeah, I don't know that they do anything with it beyond that. I mean, I suppose there could be something
Don't
down
they
the road
charge us
someday.
if we go over? Is that how they
Yes.
reach the bill?
Oh, no, not if we go over on the CSO.
So they have different levels of priority. I mean, like
If we,
dry weather bypasses, so overflow that occurs when there's not a rain event, basically. Those are more egregious to them than a wet weather event. They're more tolerant of the wet weather events. Since the Dam 6 project a few years ago, where Dam 6, it continually drains a little bit. Well, it was going into the combined system. That's since been separated, effectively eliminating dry. I don't know that we've had dry weather bypasses since then. Theoretically, like if a blockage occurred in one of them, causing the system to do that, that might, like debris or something. But other than that, we don't have any reoccurring dry weather bypasses. So that's a big feather in our cap, I would say. And but KDHE and especially the EPA, as we found out this year, they're interested in us to keep moving forward, keep working towards eliminating all potential for bypasses. And for better or worse, these monitors are a part of that consent order. And
But it doesn't solve a problem.
well, I would, I mean, not on its
It
own.
quantifies the impact
If
that
we
we're
have,
having.
we have a 6-inch rain, I don't care how many radar detectors we have to do this, we're gonna have a lot of water sitting in our streets. And having all this information is pretty much useless information.
Well, so one place that you could say that it could help us is, this year the EPA came and did their inspection, and they were kind of pushing back on some of the projects that we've done, saying, well, this project didn't eliminate a CSO, but we said we did that project to eliminate the flow. So theoretically, it's causing fewer overflows. It didn't eliminate overflows completely from that section of pipes, but it should reduce the amount of stormwater going into the system, which would create fewer overflows. With this data, you can back that up, and you can say, a 2-inch rain used to overflow this pipe. Now, because we've done separation projects upstream, a 2-inch rain does not overflow this pipe anymore. It can be used by us to show progress in our CSO separation projects before you finally separate a full overflow point, which takes time, multiple projects to get done. But beyond that, it is ultimately just a requirement from KDHE to give them the data that they want so that we are in compliance with our consent agreement. Because ultimately, the issue is not how many overflows we have, it's if we violate the terms of the consent agreement, then they would get upset. And this is one of the terms of the consent agreement, is that we provide them with this data every month.
It's more
It's a
upsetting.
It's
It's
a
more to
compliance.
do with paperwork than solving the real problem. You
could say that.
I mean, I hate to be such a jerk, but this doesn't solve any problems.
That
We
was the
said we're still gonna have
argument.
CSOs, we're
Yeah.
still gonna have.
This was the argument we made to KDHE as well,
I
to
would assume that Clinton made that argument, we could
Well,
spend
that-
this money on the.
use historic data, but
I would rather spend $150,000 on mitigating CSOs than measuring them, but, I try to be optimistic, and as Mark said, that's definitely true, that those numbers can be used to track our progress. And then the other, even more optimistic way of looking at it is that there could be a scenario in the future in which we're applying for funding from these environmental organizations, and they are trying to gauge what impact
their money.
the different projects might have, and if we have the data to say what it will impact versus the next person who might not have data, that could be beneficial to us. That's pretty optimistic, though, on that second part. I would definitely use the
It's like
data.
trying to predict how much rain we're gonna have next July.
It is, but it is a requirement, and we do need to stay in
We wanna keep those
compliance.
people at KDHE employed.
We just want to stay in compliance. difference. I think we just want to say, there is a difference. All right, with that, I move that we authorize staff to hire Axiom in the amount of $143,723.44 to install 7 CSO flow monitors with an overall project authority of $150,000 to manage change orders. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
I think I'll do.
Okay, so it is just a simple majority, I believe, is that correct, Bob? All right, so with that, we had 3 voting aye and 2 voting no. Motion carries. All
You
right,
should have a hesitant yes or no
yes.
category of voting.
Yes.
With hesitance, I vote yes.
Yes. All right. Okay, I think.
You put it in the
I'm
minutes.
hesitant too, so, we have to stay in compliance. Yeah.
No, we might end up with full sewers, but we might not burn our bridges.
Yes,
With
yes.
money.
Yes.
I will put it this way, I'm glad the 3 of you voted.
Oh, thanks.
Well, thanks.
Well, I mean, let's face it, I know it's got to be done. I'm not done.
It does, it does. All
Yeah,
right.
we took the chicken wing.
Yes. Thank you, Clinton. We appreciate that. All right, next, concrete improvements. I believe you are still up.
All right. So, between our annual CIP programs we have for things like curb and sidewalk or alley improvements, this is sort of kind of envisioning a combination of those items. And those programs are things that we've been somewhat conservative with this year, as things like the Raven Hills development is ongoing, and the city made a development agreement to help out with some of the public infrastructure as that that development progresses. And without knowing numbers or timelines, we didn't put specific things in the CIP to address those. So the idea was to utilize some of our annual program budgets to cover those. So I say all that to say we've been intentionally being a little bit more conservative. Instead of spending all that money early in the year and finding ourselves without funding to do a curb and sidewalk addition over there in the Raven Hills projects at the end of the year, that's just kind of how it's been. And so here we are, very much at the end of the year, and we do have plenty of budget funding. So a couple of projects non-related to development have come up in the meantime, one of which being the entrance to what we call Gasoline Alley, which is across from Taco John's, that's on 10th Street. Consumer Oil's back in there, and we have access to some of our public infrastructure back in there. Been getting a lot of requests to get that improved. And then also Project Concern, which is across the street over here at 504 Kansas Avenue, has got a sidewalk around the building that's showing some deterioration, some separation. In one area, at least, we got some voids under the sidewalk that we need to take a look at and replace. The parking lot's been overlaid a couple times over the years, and the curb height is pretty much non-existent on the west side of the building. A number of little issues that it just needs some sidewalk improvements. And this will not deplete those annual programs. Curb and sidewalk alone had $150,000 in it, and I think we've only used around $30,000 so far. So just that alone would be enough to do this, but we also have alley improvement funds available. Botteroff Construction was the only contractor that submitted pricing for both of those areas. Gasoline Alley they have for $29,828. Project Concern, $29,748. And I'm asking for authorization to hire Botteroff for both of those projects, plus $3,000 each for change order authority.
They did the work also by the Chamber Depot and Taco Bell, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Now,
Didn't they redo some of that?
What's that?
There was one section near the train tracks that had to be redone because the railroad had a signal wire under it. What was it?
The traffic signals at 10th and Main are in sync with the railroad, and the wire that connects those two things was severed at some point, possibly during construction. I don't know that we know that or not. So
They had to tear it out and replace the wire.
Why don't we have more contractors bid on some little project like this? Some of these smaller contractors, do they even know about it? That's what some of them tell me they don't even know about it. Like there's a Wilburn out at Effingham that does flat work. Did they even know about it, or?
I don't know who knew about it. This one was small enough we didn't put it out to the world, but we just called up the ones that actually put bids in, and some of them responded and some of them didn't.
What'd you say again? I didn't hear that.
I said, this one, we did not publish something. Even when we do publish it, we always get somebody that says they never hear about this stuff. But we invited the contractors that have been bidding on our projects in the last, call it 5 years, and Wateroff was the only one that submitted a response. And there could have been conversations between the person on our staff that sent those out and the contractors of why they chose not to bid, but I don't know what the answers might be on that. Usually it's scheduling.
Who sends those bids out?
What's that?
Who sends those? Do you send those bids
They
out?
go out of Public Works.
Who does that?
It's Andrew
'Cause
Campbell,
people
that's
ask
my
me how
Public
you
Works
get 'em.
manager, but.
Excuse me? People ask me, who do they get a hold of to bid it on these little jobs?
Shop. They can call the city. They can get on all of our lists. We have lots of different lists that we send out to bids.
I just hate to see a project like this that some little company could handle pretty easily too, not even get a chance to bid on it. Anyhow,
So I go by that gasoline alley 4 or 5 times a day.
that's
Tell
not
me-
the worst place in Atchison, I don't.
Tell me, I don't know anything about concrete. Is 10-inch concrete, is that normal, or is that more than normal, thicker than normal?
I would say it's I would say that's your semi-traffic thickness.
4-inch rebar, 12-inch centers, that's
I would say that's all
normal,
very-
more than normal. The reason I'm asking is because the vast majority of what I see in there are semis parked in there, or railroad trucks.
Most of that property's.
Yeah, but we're not resurfacing their property, are we?
We also
Correct.
drive
No.
our city trash trucks, dump trucks, pickups, you name it, that's where we get gas to.
It's mostly heavy truck traffic
Yeah, I
over
mean,
this
it's not-
intersection is, I think, what you're saying.
Yeah, and
Gas and fuel, sorry, there's people out there that don't like it when I say gas when it's diesel, so.
I
I'll just
guess
say
I'm
fuel.
questioning why we need sidewalk on that side.
That's not sidewalk. That's the, well, it is kind of sidewalk. That's
The
mostly
curb.
the access to to Gasoline Alley.
It's the alley approach, if you want to
The
call it an
approach.
alley.
It's connected. It's the concrete connection between the highway
Okay,
and
Okay.
the
Gasoline
paved
alley.
Gasoline Alley.
okay.
Okay.
There's no.
Yeah, that one is-
There's no curb in there.
That one's no curb or anything. That one is just basically the approach. The other project concern parking lot over here, that's the sidewalk and curb.
Yeah, but I mean, the 6-inch integral curb,
Well, there's some on the ends of it, I guess. That's true.
234 square feet of sidewalk.
That'll be this, I mean, it's sidewalk that's in line with the sidewalk, but it's also not curb, it's part of the drive. It's just like any driveway in town, or any alley approach, where you're walking on the sidewalk, you're going past
Okay.
the entrance.
I just wasn't crazy about seeing any kind of curbs in there because it's not going to last.
No, there's no, yeah, not,
How many square feet did you say it was?
234?
It's gonna be, that might even just be the ends. They might be doing,
Okay.
15, 20 feet.
that's for the sidewalk. That's not how many feet of curb.
Because that section in the middle, that should still
There
be
is
the
a
same
sidewalk.
thickness as the rest of
Yeah,
it. So I'm thinking the 6 inch is
For
gonna
foot
be,
traffic, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, I didn't think it was all that bad myself. I mean, it looks terrible in this picture, it broke up.
It's bad to drive in a truck, and we receive,
I drive over it a lot, I don't think.
our city crews drive over it, and they've commented to us that
So,
it's a section that
once
needs
you
repair.
get over this entrance and into Gasoline Alley, how far back does this work go towards gasoline, towards the business that's there?
Not very far. I would say it's probably less than 20 feet, probably.
So you're gonna go from this into there, what do they have?
Pavement.
Gravel there, or?
That's- there's
It's
still some
asphalt.
pavement.
It's a bit of a hodgepodge, but I would say for the most part, it's asphalt.
Is it
Just
rutted
that
and
right there is
holds
a-
water?
The asphalt is okay there. The approach is in worse shape, so we're working on that first.
The picture
Is that,
doesn't do how rough that is justice. I drove in there just the other day, and it's bad.
It's a street or an alley. I could look at the official designation.
It's the Utah Street
Utah Street is what?
right away, and it's butted up against the railroads right away, and it's just this large, kind of a no man's land looking thing if you look at it on like the Orca parcel search. But it's actually the Utah Street right away, and there's an alley that's been built in there to access different things, and we call it locally Gasoline Alley. You know, I don't know much more history than that to it.
Well, there used to be 3 different gasoline companies marketing fuel out of there. Now there's only one. But I'm just saying, if we have it designated as a street, and we're calling it an alley, and we're gonna put an alley approach to it, shouldn't we put a street approach to it?
It is a street approach. That's just the name of the project.
No, I know that. We're not, are we gonna have curb and gutter?
It's already has gutter because it's on the side of the highway. You could see from the picture that it's a low spot. I mean, it collects water there and takes it off to the creek. We're increasing the width of the approach there to take care of the damaged sections and connecting to the highway paving on the east side.
The part that we're proposing to improve would be built to a
Yeah.
comparable specification that we would do anywhere today. The rest of that road, I don't know if it was privately developed 70 years ago and the city's just adopted it unofficially because no one else is taking care of it. I don't know if the city built that road. I can tell you it's not probably built to what we would build a street to today. And that's not what we're proposing to do, is to build a completely new street up to our current city specifications. But this is just to replace the entrance and build it up to code and hopefully
I think,
smooth out that transition and make it a little
I'm not
safer.
trying to sound like a know-it-all here, but when Consumer Oil, they made a trade-off with the city to use basically the Gasoline Alley, Utah Street, or Utah Avenue. And they gave up some stuff, and they said, the only thing you do is blacktop it here, which is what they did. And that blacktop, that's probably been there 30 years, maybe 35 years.
It's a public right of way.
Yeah, it is a public right of way. I just want to make sure that we're not putting lipstick on a pig.
What we do will be a full-depth replacement of that limited section of the approach onto that street, road, access, alley, whatever
It's a street.
term you want
It's a
to.
street.
Yeah, it's a street.
It's a city street.
What's the project we got going on, the city's got going on to the south of that? Yes. They've had a hole there for a while. What's going on there?
On what street?
On that same, right there in the picture, between the billboard and the pavement. The city's had a big pit dug there for a while.
Oh, the one with,
Are there
I can
cones
get you
there?
info on that.
I would have to look into that. I don't know what that.
Okay. All right, at this point, do we have any other questions for,
Well, that's why I brought that up, because
Yeah.
if you got a sewer issue going on there, it looked to me like Do we need to make sure we got that straight before we pave over what would maybe?
We're not
be a
paving
sewer?
over anything that would have to be torn up.
That's
That,
what I was,
that looks to be quite a bit off to the south.
it is,
And so we're only looking at the alignment with the street.
yeah. But I mean, it's right there at that same area.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I probably know about it and have forgotten.
Oh, yeah, I hear
So,
All right, any other questions? If not.
Well, on this
yes.
project over here.
Yes.
Are you going to opt to eliminate the 2 parking spaces so that you can, cars can negotiate through there?
I think we're
Yes.
going to look at that very closely and talk to Project Concern. And just with the timing, I wanted to get the authorization before, usually I would have all those answers figured out, but and with the timing and when Botteroff's available, it seemed to behoove us to expedite.
I guess I would lean towards doing that, eliminating those spots.
Yeah.
Partly, it's already sort of a congested
Yeah.
lot at that end.
It is.
And nothing against our older citizens, as I am one, but, you know, you have some of your not sharpest drivers utilizing that area.
In
Older-
case anybody's listening, what Commissioner Wilcox is talking about is when you're parked facing the west side of Project Concern, the backup space that you have in comparison to the cars that are parked in the center of the parking lot is about 20 feet, and it should be at least 24 if you follow modern design standards. And the other issue is that sidewalk that you're parking up against, if your wheels go all the way up to the sidewalk,
Yeah, you block the.
then the overhang of your vehicle's cutting that 4 or 5 foot sidewalk down to 2.5,
For a
3 feet.
wheelchair
Right.
accessibility.
Which makes it
Yeah.
accessibility different. And so the answer to that is either a wider sidewalk or putting parking blocks out.
Both.
Either way, it's going to push the ends of those vehicles further to the west, choking that 20-foot narrow area probably down to 16, 17, something like that, 18 even. And so the potential way to alleviate that is to eliminate the 2 eastmost parking spaces in the center of that parking lot. There's some other little things, like there's a light pole there and a median, and we can look at ways to either relocate that or protect it, make it
And
more
as
visible.
is shown here, there are vans in there, which is often the case, and that's even more difficult to
Yes.
negotiate out. Pulling in is not so tough, but backing out is a little more difficult.
All right, okay. All right, any other discussion? All right, if not, I would entertain a motion to authorize staff to hire Botteroff Construction. Is there such a motion?
I'll make such a.
All right,
Second,
all right, it's been moved and seconded that we authorize staff to hire Botteroff Construction to replace the entrance at Gasoline Alley for $29,828 with a change order authority of $3,000, and to replace the public sidewalks at Project Concern for $29,748 with a change order authority of $3,000. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
We had one opposed, 4-1.
Oh, did you,
I voted no.
you voted what now?
No.
Oh, okay, so 4 voted yes, 1 voted no. All right, motion carried. All right, number 6, Spring Garden Sewage Lift Station, and that is also Mr. McNamee.
All right, so in this year's CIP, we had a budget of $100,000 to make improvements to the Spring Garden Lift Station. And where the Spring Garden Lift Station is, it's kind of in a, call it the northeast corner-ish of Jackson Park. It's not something that's visible unless you go really exploring, but it takes the sewer from that area of town and it pushes it uphill to another lift station that's on Riverview Drive, which then ultimately pushes it into the system that can flow down to the wastewater treatment plant. There's 2 pumps in there that we try to keep in operation, and then also over the years, we've tried to have critical spares on hand as pumps of that type are not just readily available off the shelf somewhere. And so there would be, if we had I don't want to say catastrophic, it's probably exaggeration, but if those pumps went down, we'd be looking at several weeks of not being able to pump the sewage back up into the system, and then we'd end up having a bypass at that location into the nearby creek, which then doesn't flow too far till it gets to the river. And so that's kind of where we're at. The intention would be to purchase 2 new pumps, pretty much the same type and brand even that's down there now, and then send off the other 2 to be rebuilt, and they would become the critical spares. One of which we're confident that it can be rebuilt and viable as a spare. The other one, it's been in use long enough that we're not sure about, and it's going to be a judgment call once they tear into it and see what the expense will be, and we'll decide whether or not it's feasible to rebuild it or call it good for that one. There was some other, the reason it was $100,000 is that we were suspecting that the pipe flowing into that lift station may have had some infiltration issues coming from that creek. After some camera inspection, we determined that that was not the case, and then we ultimately found out that the flow is coming from the water treatment plant. Whole separate issue that's going to be a little bit more involved, but we, rerouted that so it's not an issue for the lift station. And so we're, see fewer bypasses there. The pump hours will not be as intense as they have been in the last few years. And ultimately, we don't need to spend $100,000 on the spring garden at this point. Now it's 2 pumps. C&B equipment was the low bid on that. $53,602 to purchase and install 2 pumps. And then I believe I am asking for $60,000 in project budget authority to manage any change orders that might come along with fitment or whatever else may come.
Are these pumps made, they have this note in here about the tariff. They asked,
Like prices may vary or something type
are
of
they
thing?
made in Europe or somewhere, these pumps? Do you know they're a Fairbanks pump, it says here, is that right?
They're Fairbanks,
Okay.
and I don't know.
I was just curious why one of them's counterclockwise and one of them's clockwise. What's the deal there? I thought they were gonna be a backup. They wouldn't back up for each other.
They wouldn't back up for each other.
I thought that one of these was a backup.
No, the ones
No,
they're
no,
taking
they're
out
both-
would be rebuilt to be the backups
I see.
for these.
They're both in service, and then the ones that we're taking out, in theory, we would rebuild to be the backups.
I just wondered why I was just curious why you had 2.
I'm not exactly sure how those are plumbed
Have to
together.
look at the layout of the pump
It's probably a
station.
question for my wastewater superintendent on that one. That's,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, any other questions, concerns? Okay, I would entertain a motion. Is there one?
I
I'll
move,
do that.
I'll move that we accept the
Okay,
From
2
C&B.
pump replacements for Spring Garden Sewage Lift Station.
okay.
second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we authorize staff to purchase 2 new lift station pumps and installation services from C&B Equipment in the amount of $53,602 with an overall budget authority of $60,000 to manage change orders. If there is no further discussion,
I had one, if they got a clause in there about this tariff thing, I think that could get ridiculous if they're having a 100% tariff.
Which one are you
On
looking at?
that,
It's the yellow
Yellow.
stripe.
The yellow stripe.
123.
I don't know, I had a note about it in here.
Well, if it's, hopefully, if it does have any effect, it'll be covered within that change order authority. So far, I can only think of one project where from the time of the quote to the time of commission authorization and ordering the thing was the South Headworks project. And part of that is because we
Yeah.
sat on that for several months, and there was a steel price increase.
Well, due to the potential of it being 100% tariff, this,
If it goes over 60,000, we would have to bring it back to the commission.
okay, it says without notice, though.
But if it goes over. Mark's
Then we
saying
would
that
come
they
back
would
and have
come
that
back.
discussion with you.
Okay, good.
I mean, I understand we would be in
I'm
a
just-
tricky spot, and so would they, but it would come back before this board if the pricing went
Or the
over
one with the checkbook.
the amount that you authorized.
But it says here,
They can say lots of things. It's,
without change.
Well, but that, I mean, we have to buy it.
we won't.
If the check, if
I will
it's
tell you that
30% tariff and it goes up
I
to,
will tell you that city staff
80,000.
will not write a check for this purchase over the amount that you have authorized for us, as with every purchase that we make, and it's
That is
authorized
a
by this
very
board. So
reassuring statement.
if it goes up, we will bring it back to the board for discussion.
hopefully they got them in inventory.
Yes, I hope so.
I think that lots of companies are putting those disclaimers because they don't know.
Okay. All right, with that, if there are no other discussion points, all those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. McNamee. All right, Mr. Westhoff, 2026 Property and Casualty Insurance.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it is that time of year again to renew our insurance for property and casualty as well as the airport operators insurance. We did not put it out for bid this year. We chose to stick with our current company. We discussed that with the city commission last year. That was on the guidance of our broker. We had put it out for bid the 3 years prior to that and only been receiving bids from this one insurance company. So we wanted to honor that and give them a second look as long as it was within reason for 2026. We are increasing our cybersecurity coverage, which I think is in line with kind of the world that we're in right now. We budgeted for a 10% increase on this from 2025 to 2026, up to $389,000 for the insurance premiums. The initial renewal came in slightly over that amount, so we went back with the broker and negotiated a few points. We increased some of the deductibles that made sense to increase, changed some of the coverages, and we brought it down to, in our discussions, $378,730, which is what is in your packet, so that's under our budget for 2026. In the meantime, the broker continued negotiating, and they were able to drop it by another $5,000. So the new total for the premium is actually $373,385.
Very good.
So
Thank
that
you.
is about $15,000 under budget for next year. We're able to maintain all the coverages we have. Like I said, we did increase some of the deductibles slightly, just to make sure, just in areas that we thought it made sense and would give us the most bang for our buck and savings on the premiums, so.
All right, very good. Thank you for that negotiation and bringing it down. Any other questions, concerns? If not, are we ready for a motion?
I would just want to say that we need to make sure that people understand how we trimmed premium was that we raised deductible.
That's yes, ultimately, that's.
I just think that should be on,
I move we move forward.
Any idea how we stood on deductibles a year ago?
How we stood on
Well,
deductibles.
how much did we pay in deductibles?
Oh, I'd have to run the report on that.
Okay.
The largest, sorry,
If
go
I
ahead.
may, point of order, we have a motion.
Okay.
That we need to deal with. Is there a second, or are we unsure of moving at this point?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Okay, please continue with the discussion.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm just curious if how much we're spending in deductibles.
Not a whole lot. We haven't had any large claims. I would say our largest deductible expenses are for auto claims generally, and we do our best to mitigate those. We have great staff at our shop. We're able to do some of the work, for on our own vehicles for those claims. We don't send every single auto claim to the insurance because we choose to pay some of those so that they don't show up as a claim. They know that about it. We know that. We pay those, ourselves if they're below a certain level. We haven't had any large property damage claims since I've been here. Little knock on wood moment for that. Obviously, if there's a large hailstorm next summer, then we're in a different conversation with that. But generally speaking, the amount we pay per year on deductibles is fairly low.
All right, and you said that generally in increasing the deductibles, it wasn't, you gave a...
Yeah, so I could go over
percentage.
that in detail
Yeah.
if you'd like. We went ahead and added $5,000 property damage deductible to the general liability policy. It had no deductible before, so we added that in. We don't see too many claims in that area, so it seemed a reasonable place to increase the deductible. We increased the linebacker deductible from $3,000 to $6,000. Linebacker is kind of errors and omissions policy for city staff and for the city commission. We don't have very many claims in that department. When they do happen, they're usually like lawsuits, so they're larger claims anyway. We might as well put a little more skin in the game on those deductible situations. And then we increased our law enforcement deductible from $2,500 to $5,000. Again, we have great police. We have not had, a large claims history with our police department, so we're willing to eat some of that for the occasional claim that comes through in the future.
Okay.
So just those three brought that down. And the negotiations that they did after the fact, can you recall what that was around? That just came in the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, so they negotiated some of the appraisal values of our properties that we own. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Any other discussion? If not, are we ready to vote? All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Westhoff.
Thank you.
Next, we have cereal malt beverage license for Wilcox Incorporated Quick Stop West.
So obviously, this would normally be in the consent agenda. It's the annual cereal malt beverage license for the Quick Stop. However, Commissioner Murphy requested that we pull this one out of consent agenda and have it in new business, as he's the owner of that business.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, if not, I move that we approve the cereal malt beverage license for Wilcox Incorporated. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the cereal malt beverage license for Wilcox Incorporated Quick Stop West. All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign.
I recuse myself.
And you recuse yourself. Motion carries with 4 members voting yes.
Okay.
All right. No communications, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, informational items?
First thing we have on there is our financials. I didn't have really anything note there. If you have any questions, please let me know. And then I have an update as well.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Just a reminder that the South Headworks project, we're moving forward with a start date of February. That's a big project for the city. We worked on for a handful of years. The Brookdale Greenview Street concrete repair is about 2/3 of the way complete. The snow and then the cold weather since then kind of pushed crews off that project to other patching and things around the city. So we're looking at a completion date for that in January. Obviously still dependent on weather. The freeze and replace valve replacement at the water treatment plant that you all approved is complete and it went well. Staff is now working with the pump company to schedule the installation of the South Tower booster pump, which is the project that led to all finding out the issue with that seized valve. The auxiliary pumps have been set into the river down at the raw water intake. The last few years, as you know, the river levels have been a little lower in the winter, requiring us to place a raw water auxiliary pump for when it falls below the intake. Most recently, the Army Corps of Engineers had the river water release bumped up to 14,000 cubic feet during the cold snap to try to prevent ice jamming, which it appears to have worked. It's back down to 12,000 now, which kind of puts us right on that edge of needing those auxiliary pumps from time to time. The water main replacement project is ongoing. They're still working on the largest portion of that, which is Bellevue Drive and Country Club Road. They're currently working on the service lines to individual homes, so we'll keep you updated on that. A bit of good news, we received a KDOT cost share grant for Unity Street sidewalks and curbs from 6th to 10th.
Great.
This is an 80% KDOT, 20% local match. This project will connect with our 2026 sidewalk and curb project, which we also received a different grant to complete. So eventually, when it's all done, there will create a corridor of pedestrian access down Unity Street from 10th to 2nd, as well as a new spur of sidewalk up 7th Street connecting Unity to LFM Park. So these are good things. Staff works hard to submit these grant applications for projects that need done in the city to reduce the cost to local taxpayers.
All right, fantastic.
And then the last thing is just holiday closures coming up. City Hall will be closed December 25th and 26th for the Christmas holiday. Staff opted to do the 26th this year because it's a Friday. We may close early on December 24th as well, depending on how work is looking that week, and we will let the public know if we decide to do that. So, and this weekend is the city Christmas party.
Okay, fantastic. Any questions for Mr. Westhoff?
You had talked about the wells we were putting to the river for the.
Yes, that project is
Which
ongoing.
just kicks me back to, are we still looking at wells for our
Yes.
source of water source?
Yes, we are actively working on that project. It's in the design stage with FEMA. We are finalizing, so that's, those wells would theoretically go on land that is owned by St. Benedict's Abbey. So we've been in discussions with them on an easement agreement so that we can place city infrastructure on their land. They've been great to work with about it. They're all on board. We're getting the legal description, I believe we just got that recently, of the legal description of that parcel. So now we can put together an agreement with the Abbey for that easement and then move forward with, we'll finalize the design for the wells, and then that will also go out for grants because it's such a large project. But that would, obviously, those wells, if we're able to move forward with that project, would take away the need for these auxiliary pumps, potentially take away the need for the raw water intake completely, give us more reliable and secure water into the future.
Very good. Good. Any other questions for Mr. Westhoff?
Okay, thank you.
If not, good, great job. All right, with that being said, governing body comments, Commissioner Greenlee?
Let's see. Oh, congratulations to PC for a successful season and a heartbreaking loss the weekend in the semifinals. The football team had a rather good season, I would say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Vice Mayor Wilcox?
Go Ravens. When they win. Coach Osborne got National Coach of the Year today.
Big news.
Many of our players were, colleges players were All-American and All-Conference, so it's nice to have them acknowledged as at least part-time residents of Atchison, Kansas. Sure. And the Christmas lights are all beautiful out there, don't you think?
They are. I think they are lovely. I am happy. You were going to say that.
I was going to mention the Christmas lights.
Oh, well,
My
but-
gosh.
Do it.
Wilcox just jumped right in ahead of me.
That's quite all right.
Took
No, we would
all
love
the
to hear
credit
it.
for saving all this money.
Best purchase you ever made?
Not quite.
Well, let's just continue on, Commissioner Slattery. Go ahead.
I probably ought to say something about the football team. I don't know.
Well,
No,
Jesse
we're
took
good.
mine.
Go ahead.
Well,
I appreciate the staff putting that up. I think that was a real good move. They did a really good job of putting it up.
All right. Thank you. Commissioner Murphy?
just everything that everybody's talking good about, the BC having a great year, and BC actually having a great impact on our community in a positive way. And the Christmas lights are pretty. And our last meeting before the year, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to my fellow commissioners.
Absolutely, well said, well said. And I agree with everything that all the commissioners and vice mayor have said, and I just want to, again, thank city staff for all that they do throughout the year. We really appreciate it, and yes, the Christmas lights do look absolutely wonderful, and wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And
See you
we'll
at the
look
party.
forward. Yes, we'll see us at the party. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Is there a
Is this your
second?
pen?
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are good. All right, gives me these.
I hope I.
Oh, that's okay. No, no, no.
And I